As a kid, I did not like pastors. Didn't really like a lot of Christians, but I really didn't like pastors. I saw pastors manipulate people in the most horrible way. To take someone's faith in God and use it against them, to rob them or to manipulate them into giving you money or power over them. That is a horrible thing. You have to be a godless person, a person that has no fear of God at all, to say, God told me to tell you that you need to give me this money. God is telling me that there's 5 people tonight that can give $1,000. You need to obey God. And if you'll obey God, God is telling me he's going to give you in the next week $10,000. $10,000 is going to show up for you. Now, you would think that's a joke, but I heard it from churches growing up as a kid. And being a little kid, I didn't go to church long, but when I went to church as a kid, as a 14-year-old, 15-year-old, I knew, man, that's some hustle in that. That's just game. But to see honest-hearted people who believed it, my father's generation, my mother's generation, those that took their faith so serious, they said the person in the pulpit must be telling the truth. They must have really heard from God, because who would lie on God? Many. So I didn't like preachers. And as I grew up and got older, I found that I really didn't like politicians. I found some of the same hustles and community activists as it was. Everyone is stomping for a paycheck. Politicians, preachers, activists with their 501c3s saying, give this to my cause. And by the way, I get paid off the top. The politician that says, hey, it's all about you. Right now, we've got the Supreme Court that's made a decision. And with their decision, they said that no longer will they protect these black voting districts, and that they've been protected to keep them. You can't come in and dissect them, to break them up, so that they will lose their strength or their ability to gain seats in houses and Senate. And so the Supreme Court said, we're no longer going to allow color. You can't say, I'm going to protect this black district any longer. So they can break that up now. And black people, politicians that I was talking about, these politicians, they are now saying this is taking us back to Jim Crow South, Jim Crowism, maybe even to slavery. There's some of them are bold enough to say this is trying to take us all the way back to slavery. And this is racism at its highest and out in the open. And we need to stand up, and we need to fight, and we need to not allow this. And we're rallying all of the black troops, and we're calling all black people to stand up and fight against the injustice of what they're doing to black people, to take our vote away. And they're really beating that drum hard and heavy. Why? Why? They're beating this drum because they perceived their group, not black, their Democrat group, was going to get a windfall. Donald Trump messing up. Boy, he's losing fans left and right. And boy, look, that crowd looks like the wind is blowing our way. And so now we look like we're going to come into power. And what happens with power with them? Power says, when you're a Republican right now, you got the House and the Senate and the presidency, man, the lobbyists, they are paying big money to get your vote, because you're with the group that's got the power to make the decisions. So the Republicans are being lobbied, and they're making a lot of money with lobbyists and saying, I'll give my vote to you if you pay me the most money. And that's, Republicans are in the windfall right now. And the Democrats saying, boy, it look like it's fixing to be our turn. And if we can just get the House, the Senate, and if we win the presidency, or even just the midterm, we're going to be able to get some of that money, because we're going to be the group in power. So now the lobbyists are going to pay us more. And so I got to fight like everything to keep power, to get power. And the Democrats are fighting for that, and Republicans say, man, this don't look good for us. I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to break up that Democratic stronghold they got down there called blackness, and we're going to take that away, that little sticker that they got on them that we can't touch them. We're going to take that away. And when that's taken away, we're going to break that thing up so we got a fighting chance to win. Now, tell me this. If all of those people in that district you're talking about were Republicans, voted Republican, do you think they would want to break that up at all? No, they wouldn't. They'd say, leave those people alone. They're black, and we got to forever protect black folk because this is what we do around here. And they'd make good reasons and excuses why we shouldn't touch a black district, and as long as they're voting Republican. And you see, because the Republicans don't have a lot of black voters, matter of fact, they say 85 to 90% of black people vote Democrat. So the Democrats got that black card in their pocket all the time. And they can scream it and holler it anytime things don't go their way. And here we are as the people listening to people like this guy.
Because we know this unprecedented assault on black political representation, the likes of which we have not seen since the Jim Crow era, the ghost of the Confederacy has afflicted the United States Supreme Court majority and is invading and haunting the nation right now, and we take that seriously. And we know it's going to continue.
You're hearing what he's saying, and he's making it sound as if this is racism purely. This is all about hating on black people. And he ain't once mentioned they do the same thing when it comes to what them trying to break up Republican stronghold districts. But Republicans can't use the race card because they don't got many black people that vote on their side. So they can't use it, but we sure can. And we haul out the black in the race thing anytime it looks like the wind's blowing our way, or we can get something from it, or we can make a stink about it. And you're hurting, you're damaging young people who are listening to you and who actually believe, hey, this is about racism. Not this is about your job and you getting more money from the lobbyists. They actually believe with what you said. It's about race. It's not at all. And we're living in a time where our leaders can take advantage of unsuspecting young people. But it's time for the elders to step up. It's time for men to step up and tell the truth. And to say it's time out for all the games. All of this stuff with racism and the issues that we're trying to put out there and make it the biggest problem in the issue in the black community. 100%, friend, it is not. And I'm not angry, and I'm not, listen, I love black people. I love myself. I love my wife. I love my children. And I'm just wanting to be honest as a father and as a man to say racism in America is not at all the issue with the black community today. Is it racism going on? I guess in some form or fashion. Is it something that can stop you from doing anything you need to do? No, it's not, friend. In my book, The Plantation of the Mind, I'm talking about the true 3 issues. Faith in God, we've abandoned that as a people group. Strong family, that our families are hurting. I live in the black community, and I'm watching and looking at my neighbors, and I'm seeing low to no marriage where I'm standing and where I've been for 50 years. And I'm looking at a work ethic in this young generation. Hard work, a mindset to say, let's go get it. I don't see it. I don't see it, friend. And as a father and as a man, I'm telling you, these 3 principles, they blessed me. They blessed my father. And they blessed men that came before him. He told me so. And so I want us to find the truth and not have to listen to be held subject to these hustlers that when things don't go their way, they want to bring you into it and make you suffer for their good. Matter of fact, I've heard that they're calling for the NAACP in their groups are calling for young high school athletes going to college to don't go to the schools that are in the South. These schools that are doing this, they call it gerrymandering thing. Don't go to these schools. Show them that you're in solidarity with Black life because we don't want to go back to Jim Crow or slavery. And you've got to stand up and be the next Muhammad Ali or Malcolm X to let them know that not on your watch, you're not going to stand for this. And they're willing for their own check to get these kids to sacrifice their NIL opportunities to make money for themselves and for their families and to choose the best choice for them and for their talents. They're willing to say, I'll sacrifice you, and I'll pat you on the back, but it's really about me. Why is it that they wasn't crying so much for these kids that for forever played without an NIL deal, that they're risking their bodies and lives and physical beings and not getting nothing for it? Personally, an education, and a lot of them didn't have the ability to take advantage of that education. And why is it they didn't, go to the mat saying, we're going to shut it down until you get these kids an NIL deal and to do all of this for them? This is our flagship moment to stand up for these young people that were getting taken advantage of by that system. I never heard that being the number one goal or big ticket item for this group. Now, some of them might say, no, I wanted that. Yeah, I hear you. But how much did you put forth energy like you're telling these kids to put forth energy? You step out now and lose the deal. Go back on it. All of that. You got them out as crash dummies to take the brunt of this thing for you. But what did you take the brunt of for them? And why aren't you telling them the truth about what's really going on, friend? That's just inexcusable behavior. It's God forbid some kids somewhere take you seriously and do what you say for them to do and to be your crash dummy for your foolishness. Because that kind of stuff that the Supreme Court took down, it needed to be taken down. There's no need for no black protection. Black people can vote like everybody else. Ain't nobody stopping you from going to the poll and voting. Don't let people tell you that's what this means. It means their little seats that they've used their black card to keep. They ain't gonna let them keep them no more for that. And good riddance. It's time to deal with the real issues that we're facing. We've got bigger problems than racism and Jim Crow South. We've got issues that face us every day in the mirror. What are we gonna do? Faith in God, strong family values, and hard work. Man, let's talk about that. God bless you.